Hello and welcome to the history of the Internet. Now we, the cyber generation, might think that the World Wide Web has been around for eons, but get this, the web, aka the world as we know it, has only existed for about 57 years. Considering that television has been around since 1873, radio since 1802, and printing and sound recording since way before then. Although the internet is relatively new, in the short time that it has been around, it has surpassed the other four, growing into the biggest mass medium that we presently use. And here's where it all started. Radar. The US was involved in World War II, and after the deadly bombing of Japan, the threat of a nuclear war was imminent. So, to protect their borders, the US invested hundreds of millions of dollars into radar research and development. The government wanted to find a way to be able to send messages around the country without running into problems if an atomic war did start. Scientists at the RAND Corporation, a think tank devoted to national defense, studied several possibilities. Their scientists theorized that a decentralized network with several possible routes between any 2 points could keep the channels open for communication. If a few of the routes of the network were destroyed in a nuclear attack, messages would be rerouted automatically. In order to do this, though, they realized that the messages would need to be split up and sent as separate blocks. If the message was cut up into blocks, each could travel along any route that connected the source to the destination. The US government loved the idea, but they needed a way to make it work. The Massachusetts Institute of Technology was turned to for help. MIT started working on the project called Whirlwind, which used computers to coordinate and monitor a collection of radars watching for bombers flying over the North Pole. These computers would then alert a central monitoring station when something showed up on the radar. That was one of the first uses of computer networking, which in turn helped to inspire the ARPANET, the forerunner to the Internet as we know it today. Before the ARPANET, government workers had to switch seats every time they wanted to connect to a remote computer. Imagine having to change rooms each time you wanted to access a different website. But with the ARPANET, it was possible to be connected to multiple computers at once. In 1969, only 4 computers were connected to the ARPANET, but advances in computer technology soon changed that. Fun fact! This is where we first come across early traces of email. Computers were quickly added to the ARPANET during the following years, and in the 1980s, personal computers became a common fixture in homes and offices. That makes it no surprise that by 1989, over 80,000 host computers were connected to what we now call the Internet. In 1990, a man by the name of Tim Berners-lee, a computer programmer at a company called CERN, began working on a way to permit the addition of research materials to researchers all around the globe. The problem was that a diverse collection of computers and operating systems were being used, and to reformat the documents for each computer platform every time their content changed would require too much time and money. During the next year, Berners-Lee worked on a solution. He finished the first working browser in 1991, but it was very primitive and displayed only text. At the time, all Berners-Lee wanted was a way for researchers to access text-based documents. He named his project the World Wide Web because he visualized it as a web of interconnected documents that would stretch across the internet and the world. It sounded impressive, but his predictions were later proven too low. During the first 20 years of operation, the internet was a restricted club of scientists, engineers, and administrators. Official policies forbid anyone from using the internet for personal gain or for a non-job related function. That soon changed when U.S. Representative Frederick Boucher proposed and had passed an amendment that allowed for public and profitable use of the internet. In the years since, not much has changed. New technologies have allowed for the expansion of the bandwidth, which permits more and more people to surf the web every day. The web has expanded further than any of its original creators ever thought possible and is now the leading mass medium out there. Considering how rapidly the web was thought up, created, realized, and thrust into our lives, one can only imagine what the future holds.